All right. Transformers CyberWorld has finally come out. Well, came out almost a week ago by the time I'm recording this. But we got episodes 1 and 2 as a sort of large premiere. And I want to talk about it and also go into a bit of some other thoughts I've had. This isn't scripted. I'm just going to be doing a bit of a ramble. But let's start with the positives. I am so pleasantly surprised by this show because based off the toy line and the fact that it was like the toy line was made to replace Earthspark, right? Because that's obviously canceled for better or for worse, and obviously this is just very cheap. What's the word? It was made pretty quickly, from what I can gather, the toy line at least. And based on that, I thought this show was gonna suck. To be honest with you, when we got news of 5-minute episodes, I didn't even think it was gonna have voice acting. I just thought it was gonna be the bare minimum. And I am pleasantly surprised. Pleased to report, the voice acting really surprised me. Like Optimus Prime, it's this new voice actor who has this own little style to him. It kind of reminds me of Animated or Armada, but it was Gary Chalk who did Armada, I think. And this new voice reminds me of that, because he's not overly serious. He's not commanding. He's like obviously a leader, but he jokes around. He's got a bit of a sense of humor, and I like that. It was a nice little fresh take. Also, I like his design. I'll go back to voice acting in a minute, but I like his design, how it just has one big chest window. That's cool. Bumblebee. Bumblebee talks. Woohoo! I think we're finally, as a whole, moving past the radio voice thing outside of, like, live action movies, which is good. I mean, he didn't talk in Prime, but in R80 2015 he talked, Cyberverse he talked, the Netflix trilogy he talked, I think. I didn't watch that, all of it. But yeah, Bumblebee talks. He's cool. They do this really funny bit where the animators obviously had a bit of a joke because he ends up in the Yamcha pose from Dragon Ball, like the first time we see him, and then he does the Family Guy dead pose later on in the episode, and his mouth is fully animated and like lip synced, which is a surprising amount of effort for the show. The show's animation is surprisingly good too. Like, yes, it does look like baby's first Unreal Engine thing with shaders, but it's also pretty cool. I like it a lot. And there's like, they were showing off the sand physics a little bit. You can kind of see it in the image I have up right now, but also the whole desert scene was good. They have a bit of it with Prime, like rubbing his foot in the sand. It's cool. The lighting is also nice. Back to the voice acting. Megatron. They call him Mega Bull as like a little joke, but I think that's his toy name. Megatron's voice is like really deep, and I don't know what it reminds me of. Kind of animated Corey Burton a little bit, but he's just got this vibe to him where he's almost... TJ Omega did a video about CyberWorld, and he put it pretty bluntly. This Megatron feels kind of like seductive with his voice. He's got a sort of vibe to him, like an allure. And I like his characterization. He hangs out with Bumblebee mostly in the first 2 episodes. Like, he hangs out with Bumblebee, and their dynamic is interesting. It's unique, because Bumblebee has a bit where he goes like, "Oh, you're evil Decepticons. You finally did it. You trapped us here in the cyber world." I'll go into that in a bit. But Megatron's like, he turns to him and he goes, "Autobot and Decepticon, that doesn't matter here. We just have to survive." Which is cool, because usually you think like, Megatron's gonna put the Decepticons first and be like, "Oh, you disgusting little Autobots, you guys suck." But no, he's opportunistic. He understands what the situation calls for, and he's going to act accordingly. But that doesn't rule out him being, Megatron, because the second Bumblebee gets upper hand, not underhand. The second Bumblebee gets the advantage and like shows him up on something, Megatron just shoots him. Like, it doesn't kill him, but he just turns the gun on him. I think that's cool. Megatron's a bull, and nobody really points that out, so I guess that's just how he is in this universe. Um, Other details. Grimlock's interesting. I, I mean, I don't really care for Grimlock as a character in the first place. Cut me down if you need to, but he's cool. Scorponok. I like Scorponok, though he does seem to just be a one-dimensional, giant, angry brute character. Something I am excited to see in future is Starscream, what he's going to be like, and Barrage, or I think his actual toy name is Chop Chop, but he looks like Barrage. There's so many characters that we're confirmed to be getting in the toy line, and based on the show models seem to be directly based on the toys. So naturally, I can only assume that every toy character is going to be in the show. And that, I'm excited for that, because that means we're going to get, like, Starscream, Alita 1, Jazz, who turns into not Jazz, Mirage, who turns into a jet. There's Wheeljack, who looks like Jazz, sort of. And honestly, what else is there? I'm probably forgetting some right now. But, oh yeah, there's, like, alternate versions. I have them in the image right now. There's alternate versions of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So is this going to be like a multiverse thing? Are they going to get upgrades? Or are these just toy exclusive? We don't know for sure. But I had a video in the works that was going to be a huge critique of how Hasbro handles their toys and how Hasbro has turned away from making making toy lines for children. It's mostly just pivoted to collectors, like with Legacy, with Modern Generations, Age of the Prime, Studio Series, stuff like that. Is like, the average kid is going to go into a store nowadays and see a toy for $40 if you're in Canada of, like, Red Alert, who was last in a show 20 years ago, more than that. So the average kid's going to go into a store and be like, hey mom, can I get this for almost, like, an entire, like, price of, like, a necessary house item? Can I get this for, like, the price of a kettle? And what kid is going to go out and start collecting Transformers? This I'm excited for. Hasbro has made, if my hopes are true, if my hopes come to pass that every toy is going to be in the show, Hasbro has made a easily accessible, easy to watch show for children where they can go out to the stores and get figures of the characters they see on TV. Or, in this case, on YouTube. Because every episode is going to be on YouTube, which, what kid doesn't have access to YouTube nowadays? That's just, finally, you know? Finally. Like, nowadays, you're going to be able to put on some YouTube show for your kids, and they're going to be able to find out, they're going to be introduced to Transformers through a show that is very short, but well animated, well voice acted, and it's going to have a comprehensive, accessible toy line that's cheap for kids. Now, Hasbro could have done more. Like, we used to get comprehensive, high quality, like, generations level figures in full toy lines for kids. But considering the way the brand is right now, with a lean towards collectors, at least we have this. This is going to be the first show in, what, since Prime, that had a full, complete toy line of every character present in the show? That's absurd. It should not have taken that long, I don't think. And the best part of it is, it's unique. It's something new. We've got Skybite with wheels. We've got Galvatron, who looks like Scourge, who turns into a dragon. We've got Barrage, or Chop Chop, I keep messing up his name. We've got all new iterations of characters. We've got Mirage, who turns into a jet, coming up. We've got Megatron, who's a bull. We're going to get so many new things. I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg for the first waves. And if this is like Cyberverse, which was also on YouTube to my memory, this could go on for seasons. We could get, like, season 2, season 3 of CYBERWORLD. We could get special episodes, like short movies for CYBERWORLD. They could pump out this toy line for, like, the next 3 years. Think of that. CYBERWORLD could be the biggest possible access point to get new fans interested in the brand while we bridge the gap between movies and while Hasbro figures out what they need to do without turning off the huge collecting market of older fans. I think this is a fantastic thing, and I'm really happy it exists. And all of these positives that I've had so far, just from what we've seen, that's still only the first 2 episodes. Since this is presumably coming out weekly, I really hope so. If this is coming out weekly, then that's a weekly show for kids. Every episode's like 5 minutes, and then starting this month, starting August, you can go out to your local store and buy basically every character you see one-to-one with how they appear in the show, with added gimmicks and weapons, and they're all interchangeable. Like, they can all work together. Like, Scorponok and Grimlock are the bigger size scales that the smaller ones can, like, interact with. Like, look in this image. Megatron's in Scorponok's torso, Prime's riding on Grimlock. This is so good. I could keep rambling about this, but I've said pretty much all there is to say about the first 2 episodes, and I hope I've elaborated on my opinions on how good CYBERWORLD is for the brand. Like, this is what we needed. Sure, it could be a lot better, it could have a higher budget, but it's a fresh, new take that's accessible to fans and will get new fans interested. Isn't that what matters? And, on top of all that, we get cool, cheap toys. Woohoo! I'm pretty sure they scale with the Rise of the Beast combiners. That's rad! We can get, like, Scourge fighting Skybite if you want. Like, Rise of the Beast Scourge fighting Skybite, and then they can fight RC. I don't know. It's awesome. And I really like CYBERWORLD, and I'll probably make weekly videos that discuss the new episodes as they come out. Probably not as long as this one, but I don't know, I like CYBERWORLD. CYBERWORLD's great, and I'll be watching it, and I'm really pleasantly surprised by how good it is, because it could have been, terrible. Thanks, Hasbro. You did good. And thanks for watching.